Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks. Today, we are going to be talking about the Yankees and what should their trade deadline plans be. Look, the Yankees, 22 games above 500 right now. They're a solid team, but of late, they've really struggled heavily. And, I think the first thing that comes to mind is that lineup. You got Anthony Volpe, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge. But after that, it's just been really, really bad. The Yankees can't generate any offense 4 through 9. The lack of ability to hit with runners in scoring position has killed this team heavily. And there's definitely going to be trades that need to be made to upgrade that lineup as a whole. The bullpen could be a concern, but we're going to be talking about what the Yankees should do at this year's deadline.
Yeah. And it's funny because I didn't think we were going to be in this position. We've seen this in years past where it's Judge and no one, and now it's Judge and Soto and no one. And I think if we were talking about this 20 games ago, we would have said this couldn't happen because it was everyone in the lineup. But it's kind of just all gone downhill at the same time. The double plays have come back. I really don't think it's a need for serious concern, but this is probably one of the better shots the Yankees have had in the last 5 or 6 years. So they're gonna need to get better. I mean, I think the first position that you really look at is third base. I don't think you can have DJ out there every single day there. He's clearly out of his prime, and it's kind of the same thing with Rizzo too at first base. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go get an all-star to fill both corner infield spots, but I think at least one of those positions needs to be upgraded, especially since, Rizzo really hasn't even been giving much defensively. So it feels weird, if Rizzo moved into a bench role or even if he was gone. But I think just looking at the lineup statistically, I think you need to upgrade at least one of those positions there.
First base and third base, obviously, just two glaring weaknesses on this team. Second base as well. Gleyber Torres hasn't been able to do anything all season. I don't know what the Yankees do there. If they continue to run him out there, you're not going to get much of anything for him if you try trading him. Given that he's in the final year of his contract, I don't know who you bring in. I don't know if you move him to the bench, but the Yankees have a lot of guys that just aren't hitting, and they're going to need to bring in reinforcements to help that lineup because you can't have automatic outs in the postseason. You just can't. Especially, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, we're starting to see teams just pitch around them and say, hey, let's let 4 through 9 in the lineup beat us. The Mets did that the last 2 games. So the Yankees infield is definitely something they need to address. The corner spots heavily, I think. And then the bullpen as well. The bullpen's been used a lot this year. It's like completely different than what it looked like on opening day. Now, they do have some guys coming back. They have Scott Efros, Brubaker's making a rehab assignment. So they got some guys coming back. But I think the Yankees are definitely going to need to bring in, a high leverage reliever. Tanner Scott, maybe from the Marlins, I think would be a good fit. But just someone out there who's having a really good season who could be a nice setup man to Clay Holmes.
Yeah. I've even saw some talks about, having Holmes become the eighth inning guy if the Yankees were to go out and make like a big splash. I don't know how I feel about that. I do think Clay Holmes is still one of the better closers in baseball. But the bullpen does have to get better. They need a few more, at least one or two more high leverage arms. But, I don't think it should be overlooked that the Yankees have had a great season. They're in a good spot. Teams are going to go through rough patches. Orioles are going through the exact same thing right now. Obviously this can't go on for, another month or two. But I think if anything, the Yankees can be kind of thankful that this is happening when it is. Because, imagine if, they're still playing, this magical baseball up until the deadline. And then after we see all the holes come out and, well, now you can't really do anything. I think, some of the issues are being exposed a little bit. And now the Yankees know what they have to do at the deadline, and they have plenty of time to do it. So, they're going to have to be a little bit aggressive here. But I really think they're going to be in great shape. And I mean, as for prospects, I mean, really the only guy I think I'm looking to hold on to is Spencer Jones. I mean, other than that, I think the Yankees should be pretty willing to give up whatever teams are demanding.
The bottom line is the Yankees do have to be very aggressive at this year's trade deadline. You have Aaron Judge, who may end up having a better season than what he had in 2022. The guy has 30 home runs. It's not even July yet. You have a generational player in Juan Soto, who's in the final year of his contract. You got to be aggressive at this year's deadline. I think it's finally the year the Yankees put their best foot forward and really go for it. The American League is wide open. There's not really anyone who's so dominant. I think the Yankees play well against the Guardians. Baltimore's played us well this year, but I think the Yankees can take them. I think the Yankees can take anyone. But I do think they have some weaknesses, and they need to get the right personnel in here to fix that, because you can't have automatic outs in the playoffs, and it's hard to win a World Series when you just don't have the players filling position. We saw it last year with left field. This year, third base, first base, right? So I think the Yankees definitely need to be aggressive. They need to upgrade those positions. Some guys, like we said before, Luis Renjifo, Ryan McMahon, Lamonte Wade Jr. from the Giants. There's some guys out there that the Yankees can go out and get. But they do have to be very aggressive at this year's deadline. They got to bring in the players they need. The bullpen, right? Look, you're always looking at add relievers. I think the Yankees could desperately use another dominant reliever. The Yankees have a really good foundation, but they have some holes, and they need to make the moves to fix those holes, patch them up. And, if the Yankees can add, I think, 2, 4 guys, maybe a couple position players, maybe a couple relievers, I think the Yankees will be in a really good spot come October.